This video is brought to you by Ultrahuman. More about them at the end of the video. What's up everyone, welcome back to Stag voiceover. My name is Neil Glasgow. So in today's video, I'm actually going to start doing a revisitation on some of the websites that I've done reviews on because it's coming up to renewal season for me and ultimately this is where I'm going to be spending my money. Since I put out lots of videos on various websites, I've been in contact with various websites and where I've managed to get discount codes or affiliate codes, I'll put them in the description. Any opportunities that come up for free memberships, all that sort of stuff, I'll talk about them in the video. Because ultimately these websites, they want you to be able to join them and, recommendations do help. I say that as a very big caveat. I'm not sponsored by these platforms. I'm not endorsed by any of the platforms. They're either doing something or they're not. They're either fixing their issues or they're not. I'm going to give you very honest opinions about whether I think they're decent platforms or not. And ultimately, that's what they are. They're my opinions. So, with that in mind, let's get into it. So, kicking off with VOplanet. In my last review, I really overwhelmingly said that VOplanet was a website that you should be involved in. And I want to revisit that just to really make sure that that holds up. So, the first up that I'll give is still talking about the platform's ethos, essentially. Now, the platform itself was bought by a husband and wife company about 15 years ago. And they had been on Voices and Voice123 and all the other sites and essentially saw what was wrong in the market and wanted to create something that was better for everyone all round. But as, VO artists, they want to be able to kind of support that community. So the way that they do things different and where the up comes from is they don't charge the client any money whatsoever to post their jobs. They don't charge you, the voiceover artist, any commission, so any fee on top of what you put out. Essentially, they make their money through their membership scheme or membership tiers that they go through. And yeah, I like that. You pay your money, you get your results. And some memberships are on a monthly basis, some are on an annual basis, some are on a one-off basis. And I'll come to that in a moment. But that they're doing that and they're adjusting, yeah, that's an up. And for my next up, from my last video, what I talked about was they had two tiers, essentially, of membership. One was a monthly fee of $20, I believe it was that I said, or an annual fee of $199. And bear in mind, that's the fee. There's no commission. There's nothing else that goes on top of that. Now, what I can add to that now, having been in contact with the platform and actually discussed some of the other things they do, if you are in their predominant market area, being North America, that is your monthly or annual fee that you'll pay. If you're, say, in the UK, you may be able to just pay that as a one-off fee and you've got a lifetime membership. And they do this because they are responding to, they want to have people on the platform, but ultimately if there's not that many jobs coming through for that particular demographic, how can they justify charging that amount of money? And actually, that's quite fair. If there's more opportunity, then, that's where they try to make the money. If you are from a non-English native speaking country or dialect, and you don't speak fluent English, i.e. you're from Japan, but you actually speak fluent American-style English, if you only speak a foreign language, then you can contact them and there's an opportunity, nothing guaranteed, but they could offer you a free membership. Because again, they want to have voices on the platform, but ultimately they do respond to, there may not be as many opportunities for that style of voice. Yeah, that's an up. That's a good all day long. And for my next up, what I talked about previously was the job quality that came through. At the time, I was looking through the job boards and, I saw lower paying jobs. I think I said about $40 at the time. All the way up to several thousands of pounds. And the medium range was about $600 to $700. Now, I've spoken with VOplanet. And one of the practices that they do is essentially they have to mark everything on a fair level. So what does that mean? If someone puts in a job and it's 2 words, and they say, I've only got $35, say, available for these 2 words. It will then go through a review process to make sure that it is a fair standard for the work done by the voiceover artist. And one of 2 things is going to happen. They're going to go back to the client and say, you need to increase your budget. And if they do, that goes on. Or if they deem it fair, it will go on. Or if they deem it unfair or they can't verify some aspect of the client's budget, then they'll remove that job. And again, that gives you, as the voiceover artist, a little bit of security and confidence that you've got a site that's working on your site. Now, I've had, it was a job that I actually applied for, and again, I thought it was quite a good practice. Disappointing, but it was a good practice. There was a few jobs that came in at the time, about $2,500 a piece, looking for my accent, talking about, I think it was race cars or something. Did the auditions, and all of a sudden, the jobs weren't there anymore. And I contacted VOplanet, and they said, look, we couldn't verify the client's payments, so we removed the jobs. And again, to stop anybody's voice being nicked. As disappointing as that was, I kind of like that whole process. So yeah, that's an up as well. My next up on the platform is as good today as it's always been, is their job board functionality. And what I mean by that, and I'll come back to this in a second, is they allow you to see every job, male, female, transatlantic, Russian, American, doesn't matter. They'll show you every job they've ever had on that platform, going back a couple of years essentially. But I quite like that because, again, that gives you not only a view, I mean, it doesn't benefit them as a platform, but it gives you as the voiceover a view of what has been available, the quality of jobs that have been available, when and where and how, etc., that they come through that you can audition for. And while they don't come through like a machine gun, they come through and you get to see how they actually operate and what they went for. So, yeah. That's an up. So my next up is actually because the platform is making an improvement to something. So in my last video, I talked about their search filter functionality, which I thought at the time was really robust because you could search male, female, or male and female. You could search by union, non-union. You could do by region and language. I did say at the time, they'd confusingly had English UK and English British and European as different subcategories that are on the thing. And having actually spoken with them, the numbers that I got back at the time were not representative of what's actually ever been on there. And what we kind of discovered together was it wasn't working the way that it should be working. And in filtering things down the way that I got, I think it was about 10 male, British jobs, under 10 female jobs, and an amalgamation of the two. I think that was about, again, under 20, something like that. What the reality is, and the reason I'm highlighting it is because it doesn't represent what they did, is they actually have over 60 jobs over the last couple of years, and this is British specific. American, dozens and dozens and dozens. But looking at the search functionality and how you put the search in made an impact in what the results came back. And what they've said to me is, do you know what, this is working a little bit wonky. It's not a true reflection. I've highlighted to them about the way that they would classify British would be into the English UK, the British and European separate sectors, and transatlantic. And I have highlighted that transatlantic isn't normally what someone in Britain would refer to themselves as, and British and European kind of should be separated as well. And they've taken that on board, hence my up, hence my talking about it. The important thing to underline here is the number of jobs that do come through are representative of what the platform is. They're not getting in 200,000 jobs a year. They're getting in a decent amount with a decent wage behind them that they can put out. And as another up, if you're in doubt, what I talked about in my last video was them taking a screenshot of the live job board. And at the time, again, I said, I really didn't think this was too helpful because a screenshot of the live job board, if I look at it now, it looks like there's about 40 jobs on there. But if you filter that down to, for my market, for the UK, there wasn't a lot. Actually, when looking at the job board, they can filter it to really represent what matters to your marketplace. And this is where that membership element comes in. If you contact them and say, do you know what, I want to know about the Nigerian jobs you have, and they come back and say, look, we've only got 2, but we'd still love you to have you on the platform, they may offer that free of charge. It's worth having the conversation. And that they're open to having that conversation and customize what comes back, yeah, I'll give them an up for that. So my next up is the resource section. So I've talked about it before. VOplanet provide a resource section for you as a voiceover artist, and it's essentially broken down into various lists of coaches, producers, studios, whatever it might be, discount codes that come along with that as well. Essentially things that will help you get started and maintain and develop within your career. Now, I don't know if they, take a commission off the top of that, but with the discounts that they give, we're talking £200 off, something along those lines. They do provide you with, again, a really decent resource section of affiliates that they trust. And given some of the elements that the platform actually does and supports and all that sort of stuff, yeah, still do your due diligence, make sure they're the right people for you, but having those recommendations out there, any platform that tries to help a voice artist out and help them develop their career, I'm all in favour with. That's an up. So my next up on the platform, talked about it a little bit already, but it's really their ethos. And particularly when it comes to what it is that you bid on your project. They don't allow, in any circumstances, for you to essentially undercut the market, undercut your competition. Everything on the platform has to be fair, has to be kind of industry standard as best as they can control it, but that they allow you to bid a fair wage, a fair amount for what the client is asking for. They encourage the client to, again, pay a fair wage. As I've said before, if they don't think, if it's a 5,000 word script and they say, we're going to pay $100, they're going to go back to the client and say, look, that's really not enough. Here's what you need to do. And if they can't meet in the middle on that, then the platform will remove the job. They do remove the job. The job is seen when it's posted, and this is something that happens, I suppose, in conjunction, not prior to being posted, which maybe could be improved, really. But they do it, and they do it as best they can. As I say, this is not, the voices.com of the world. They are a smaller organisation, kind of, as they would say, a mum and pop organisation. They're doing the best they can with the resources available. Yeah, I'll give that an up. Now, my next up, and it's talking a little bit about the previous video, what I'd said is the platform doesn't offer refunds, and really they don't. And I gave this a down because of what was reflected in my search. And we've talked about the way that search works. I didn't feel at the time that, getting 10 jobs back for a male British artist was worth $199. And I don't think that that's worth it. However, as I've talked about, the search functionality wasn't showing all the jobs that were coming through. Given that they do adjust to their marketplaces, as I've said, and they will adjust their memberships, I'm actually going to turn that to an up because $199 a year, if you're getting the most functionality out of that platform, is not bad in comparison to, your bigger platforms out there that charge $600, $700, $800, $1,000. Yeah, I think given where they're at in the market, they reflect that, they support it. $199 with no commission. Yeah, I kind of think that's fair, given that things are reflected better. That's an up. So my next up is actually who can join. Now, I've talked about memberships, not talking about that. This is, say you're a brand new voiceover artist and you're worried about, do I spend the money? They do review process. So you apply to join the site, and ultimately if they think your sound is of a quality, then they'll say, yeah, sure. But if you've got a mobile phone or a really bad mic and you sound all tinny and all of that stuff, they're not going to say join the platform. And there's a level of credibility, I think, that goes behind that. Other websites do that, and other websites absolutely don't do that. Yeah, I like credibility. So, yeah, that's an up. And that's actually kind of it. There are no real downs that I can give to the platform at the minute. The downs that I gave previously have kind of been addressed, and any platform that can say, yeah, do you know what, we got something wrong, being their search functionality, and like I say, they're looking at it just now, they're doing all the things right. Memberships are all right, the pay that comes through for the jobs largely is in the several hundreds, if not thousands, largely. And, you know, they're very communicative, and if you're outside of North America, they're willing to work with you to make it the best deal appropriate, really. The reality is VOplanet is a North American-based and largely focused platform. Most of the jobs that come through are North American-based. If you're North American-based, fill your boots. You are more likely than anyone else on the platform to get jobs through regularly that you can audition for. Britain, you know, UK, Europe, transatlantic, and others, they come through it a lot less. So I'd say before joining the platform, drop them a line, say, this is what it's at, this is where my career's at, what I'm thinking about your platform, all those sorts of stuff. Have the conversation with them and see if what they offer you is something you want to get involved with. And that's it. If you like the video, give it a like and subscribe, share it on Twitter and YouTube and all the usual stuff. And remember, finding a good platform to work with is difficult. It really is. Do your own due diligence, have a look at what platforms offer, and ultimately don't be afraid to get in contact with them. And remember, you absolutely can be a voiceover artist. I'll see you in the next video. This is Ultra Human. Join the holistic fitness movement. You can get fit, reduce stress, run marathons, improve your mobility, and enhance your productivity with the world's best coaches and athletes. You can get fitness tips and videos from some of the world's best professional athletes. You can get yoga walkthroughs from the world's most revered yoga gurus. Full body workouts for any fitness level. Mindfulness and meditation walkthroughs to really relax your body. And at night, you can listen to myself and some other wonderful narrators as we lull you to sleep after a long day. You can get a free trial for Ultra Human with the affiliate code that's in the description. Learn from the best with Ultra Human.